Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Married to Medicine, Season 11, Episode 11.
This was a great show, which will lead to a great discussion. Subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. You ready, Blair?
I'm ready.
Walk us through this.
Yeah, so Quad is talking to King about how Greg went crazy the other night.
Yeah.
King says it all started with the sex conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Quad explains that it's a lot for Greg to see her happy, and it's a choice that they made by coming into her friend group.
Okay.
Sweet Tea is confused on what happened. Greg felt like Quad was acting superior and like she had to endorse their relationship. Greg was annoyed that Quad was drunk, and he apologizes for yelling at T, but not for how he felt. Quad says that it seemed like Greg wasn't over her, and she didn't like seeing him yell at T. Greg also didn't want T to go at Quad. T says that she's not the type to just eat things, like she's going to talk back.
Yeah.
Greg tells her, look, this is just an age gap thing. I'm expecting you to be this older, wiser person, and T says it is not that.
Between Sweet Tea and Quad, who do you give the blame pie to for this whole thing that happened between them two?
I give most of the blame pie to Quad.
Same.
Yeah, because Quad, even though T made a comment initially, Quad got the party started.
Yeah,
she escalated things. She's the one who wouldn't stop talking, who wouldn't stop making jabs. So Quad takes majority of the responsibility pie here.
Now, here's the thing about it. I give Quad the majority of the pie. That doesn't mean I'm mad at you for it.
Yeah.
Right? Thank you for giving us great TV, because you know what happens after a scene like that with Quad? She give us a speech. And she gave us a speech. You get what I'm saying? I love Quad speeches. You know, you is what I want to be, or something like that. I am what you want to be, or whatever she told Sweet Tea is one of the things. You see, look, I'm not even gonna try to do Quad's speech, but I give most of the blame to Quad because number one, Quad was drunk. Everybody say Quad was drunk, and Quad was basically just twisting the knife a little bit. But it makes for great reality TV. I would say I do not agree with Dr. G telling Sweet Tea to be quiet on the set, because she is part of the cast.
She's working.
She can talk. You get what I'm saying? If this was a regular conversation to where it's a normal thing, there's no cameras and things of that nature, I can 100% see it from Dr. G perspective. But in this situation, this is TV. We're shooting a show. It's reality TV show. You are in the group with your ex-wife. You get what I'm saying?
The only pushback I have against that is that I could see why Dr. G might want T to kind of keep it cute a little bit.
Help me.
Is because I think T's line of the reality TV work versus reality, I think it gets blurred a little bit.
Oh, okay.
To where she takes things maybe a little more to heart.
She should take it home with her.
Right. Than it necessarily should. So she's getting into these arguments on camera, and some people can kind of like, yeah, you know, we got into an argument. We're not cool, but you know, it is what it is.
And scene.
Whereas T might take it as, oh, I really got real beef with this girl, and I'm going back to my husband and talking about this girl in this situation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's part of me of why I think Greg was kind of like, don't get yourself too worked up and too involved.
Especially since you're in real time talking about how Miss Quad is jealous of you.
Yeah, like it's like getting T kind of like outside of the show. I think she kind of takes things a little more personally than some of the other ladies.
And guess what? I can see that 100%. What else was I going to say? Some would actually question and say, hey, out of everyone on the cast, Sweet Tea is on the cast and she's married to Medicine. Quad is not married to Medicine. So some people, I heard that y'all question why she's on the show. Do you feel like it's right to question why Quad is on the show, knowing that she's not married to Medicine and she's not even dating Medicine?
I don't, because this show, even though it was brought on as Married to Medicine, we have our core ladies, and Quad is a core lady. Yeah. So the fact that she was been able to remain on the show as long as she has, she's a staple of the show, and she brings a lot to it. Yeah. So I think Quad is right where she needs to be.
I think there's only room for one person to not be married to Medicine. Get rid of Phaedra. Don't do a Phaedra thing again. You get what I'm saying? Live and die with your cast.
Right.
This is our group. If y'all want to watch it and basically we get renewed for a new season, cool. If we don't, this is who we rocking with. And I'm like, yeah, I can understand, because truth be told, I am like, well, you know, Quad is not married to Medicine, but at the same time, Quad is married to medicine.
She is.
Talk about the show. You get what I'm saying?
Toya and Eugene hang out with Steve and Dr. Mimi for
Yeah.
the day. We learn that Steve grew up in the hood and he used basketball as a way to create a better life for himself.
Nice.
They all sit down for lunch. Toya gets her margarita with Patron because the other ones make her angry.
Okay.
And we see clips of different arguments that Toya has had throughout the season.
Mm-hmm.
Toya did say that she would take some accountability for her part, small part that she played in the argument, because she was saying out loud pretty much what she felt other people were thinking, that this is uncomfortable. Dr. G is sitting right here. Dr. Mimi was wondering if Toya fanned the flames at all.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if she did, it was literally like a feather that she was fanning, because that thing was going to get started either way. Like,
yeah,
I'm not putting nothing on Toya.
Here's the thing. Dr. Mimi and what is her husband's name? Steve. They basically, Toya and Eugene trying to make another couple friend and things of that nature. But I think Dr. Mimi kind of looking like, I don't know if I want to be friends with y'all because you messy.
Yeah.
And Toya's like, I'm not messy, but I think Toya's cool. I always think Dr. Eugene is pretty cool and things of that nature. I actually think Dr. Mimi cool too.
Yeah,
so,
I think they could be a cool little friend group. So Simone, Jackie, and Heavenly are all talking.
Yeah.
Simone says the questions were great, not messy, but Quad and Greg need healing.
Okay.
Heavenly thought it was funny. She tells him that Apollo is going to be coming today, and maybe Apollo could show Greg how he's supposed to act.
Now, listen here. This is what I want to show y'all something. What is Dr. Heavenly doing right here, Blair?
Setting up a scene.
She is producing. She is setting up a scene. How do that even make sense? Listen to what she just said. How do that even correlate together, right?
It's not real life.
It's not real life. You say Quad and Dr. G need healing, and you know who can help them? Apollo. Okay, sure.
Heavenly is trying to get them some more seasons on the show.
Yes, she is.
Okay. Phaedra does know that he's coming. Simone asks, so you're assuming he's going to be cool with Phaedra and Shek being around him? And Jackie says, he might get jealous. Heavenly says she didn't think about that.
Yes, she did.
Yes, she did. That is definitely part of the plot.
Of course.
They're going to take a boat to an island today. Simone is talking about how they can coordinate people so there's no drama on the boat.
You can try to do whatever you want to do, Dr. Simone, but guess what? Dr. Heavenly got her scene.
She does. So everyone gets to the boat. They're heading to a sand island, and Apollo, he ends up making it on the boat with his wife, Sherrein.
Now, if you remember, he said she wasn't coming.
He did say that.
Now, here's the funny thing about it. I'm laughing at Dr. Heavenly because she's off the boat.
Yes.
She's standing on the pier. Apollo, where are you at? You get what I'm saying? Where are you, Apollo? He's like, I'm coming, right? And when she saw Apollo walking with his wife, she was like, oh, I got more than what I bargained for.
Yeah.
I just wanted Apollo and Phaedra to go at it. Now Apollo can actually not say anything. You get what I'm saying? Heavenly was like, oh, I'm cooking here. And I'm like, yes, you are cooking, Dr. Heavenly.
Yeah, she's cooking with grease, y'all. So Phaedra says that this is the mistress that he was cheating with when she was pregnant with their youngest son. Of course, we also know that Shek knows Sherrein and Apollo. And it seems like it's more than just an acquaintance knowing. Like, they be around each other.
They're like a family friend almost.
It was just like, oh, Shek, like, oh my gosh, what are you doing here? So everyone is on the boat, drinking, having a good time. Shek says, they're cheersing, and Shek says the goal is to have sex 15 times this week.
Okay.
Apollo thinks this is BS because Shek is his boy. They're very close, and it's weird that he's here with Phaedra. Phaedra says that Shek said that he knew Apollo, but he knew him from the club. She didn't know how close that they were.
Okay.
Do you believe that?
No.
You think she knew how close they were?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So they get to the Sandbar. Toya falls off the boat.
Of course.
I'm like, was Toya drinking the not Patron?
Listen, yeah. I feel you. Listen, you ain't having a good time unless you're falling off of something.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So the guys are talking about doing push-ups. Greg does 25 lateasha push-ups. Eugene just wants to sit and talk and stop doing all that jawboning over there. Ooh, I sound like an old person.
Yeah, you do sound like an old person. Because truth be told, I use context clues to know what you was talking about, but I never heard that word a day in my life.
Something my dad said.
Okay.
So some of the ladies are lounging in the water. Eugene cheers to the guys and to King coming in with positivity. King thanks the guys for welcoming him. Y'all, why did Greg start talking?
I really don't understand why.
He start talking.
Dude, you know what's funny? He's telling Lateasha, Sweet Tea, his wife, hey, you talk too much. Stop all that talking.
Yeah.
He turned to a chatty patty out of nowhere.
Yeah.
No one wasn't even talking to him. King wasn't even on him, to be honest. He basically talking to the group, basically said, thank y'all for inviting me over and things of that nature. And then Dr. G went on a soliloquy of soliloquies.
He did.
Yes.
Let's get into it. Greg knows that he hasn't been welcoming, but he tells King that it's no disrespect to you. It's no disrespect to Quad. He just told her she talks too effing much. And King is like, you said that to her? Greg says he knows how she was. She had too much to drink. And King was like, I didn't hear you say that last night.
Nah, I ain't gonna hold you. You looked him dead in the eye.
Someone says y'all need to let the sun set on that. I think it was Contessa. I don't know, was she around? Anyway.
No, Contessa wasn't over there.
Yeah.
I think it was one of the guys. It was Scott. It was her husband.
And King says, I don't think so. King is offended and thinks that G needs to apologize to Quad, and G feels like there's responsibility on both sides. Eugene tries to clear the air, but he can't get his words together. Cecil says that Quad was upset, she just got emotional, and King tells them there's trauma there, so of course she's going to react.
Okay.
Dr. G says that if he knew him, he would have addressed him, and he hopes, he's willing to stand up for Quad. They both say that they don't have any problems with each other, though.
What are your thoughts on the scene?
My thoughts, number one, Greg, this didn't have to be a conversation.
No, it didn't.
You guys got into the spat that you did. It's a new day. Move on. And then with King, okay, I'm going to go with the fact he didn't hear it. Maybe it was a lot of hollering, yelling, drinking. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
So maybe he didn't hear it. And if there was any moment to check him, I would have thought it would have been in the moment before. Here, it sounds like he's trying to check him by saying, hey, you need to give her an apology.
Yeah.
But Dr. G is not on that wave.
No.
So I don't know how King is expecting to get this apology out of Dr. G.
He's not going to get an apology out of Dr. G. I'm going to explain this later on once we get to the fight scene. But even though you are the new boyfriend talking to the ex-husband. Now, I understand that in the relationship, it was a domestic relationship based on what was told on both parties, allegedly. So there's a lot of things to where people can say, hey, King, kind of know your place, right? But in this position, it's not like King was looking for trouble in this scene. It's not like King showed up and said, oh, yeah, about last night, Greg, this is like
he wasn't even on it.
He wasn't on it. He only was on it because Dr. G brought it up again. You get what I'm saying? So my thing is, if you're telling your wife in the hotel room the day of, right, early in the day of, let it go, let the sun set on that, to use Dr. Scott words and things like that, why are you bringing it up then amongst your guys? You get what I'm saying? Especially to your ex-wife's new man. You get what I'm saying? He said, thank you for inviting me to the group, and you basically like, yeah, last night I actually had to tell Quad to shut the F up. It's like, what do you expect him to, like, you get what I'm saying? Then he gonna be like, I ain't know you told her that. Like, I'm thinking you was talking to your wife. You're like, no, yeah, I was talking to her. You get what I'm saying? Then he's like, well, I think you should apologize. He said, I ain't doing that. So it's like, no one made Dr. G say all the things that he said. No one, literally.
And I will say, I think part of it was, number one, I could very well believe that King didn't hear it, but also the fact that Dr. G had the nerve to say it in front of all the guys for another time about his lady. I think he was like, okay, like, you're trying to sun me right now. Like, I'm not going to do or say anything to you about the things that you're saying to my lady. Yeah. So I think it was a little bit of both too.
Potentially, yep.
So Shaq is picking Phaedra up. I mean, goodness gracious, Phaedra got a booty on her. Okay. Sherrein tells the ladies that Shaq is everyone's man in Atlanta. Toya asks Shaq, how does he know Sherrein? And Shaq is like, it's nobody's business here, honestly. Quad asks if he told Apollo that he was dating Phaedra. Apollo comes over and explains that he told me he was speed dating, but he didn't really get into details about it. Yeah. He just said he ended up matching up with Phaedra. Shaq doesn't think that he needs to tell Apollo his every move. Phaedra doesn't see why it matters because she's not even married to Apollo. Sherrein says, Apollo don't care about you. Sherrein, what you hollering for?
Dude, you know, she hollering for? Dude, you know what's funny? Not Sweetie, Dr. Heavenly just sitting down there like, I am a great producer.
Exactly.
I am a great producer.
And the thing is, too, they wanted to get Phaedra activated.
Oh, yeah.
They felt like Phaedra was not pulling her weight when it came to work.
Exactly.
So Heavenly was like, I'm going to make you work on this trip.
Because
okay?
I'm going to bring Apollo, but I was not expecting what I got. Yeah. And I'm thankful.
Yeah. Sherrein is calling Phaedra Faye, and Phaedra says, that's not my name, you bad built B.
That's what I'm talking about. Because she already called her big back. You get what I'm saying? Okay, let's go, Phaedra. You are you activated yet?
Y'all, why does T have to jump in?
Here we go.
T asked Heavenly why she invited Apollo.
Stop right there. So I can see Sweet T. I can see Dr. Heavenly face right now enjoying the show.
You messing up my scene.
She basically gave everyone who's on the cast a day off.
Yes.
After last night, guess what? The hotel people came downstairs. They told us to shut up, leave. You know, y'all are disturbing the peace. So today, I got a scene for us that we don't say nothing. Dr. Jackie, you not going to need it. Dr. Jackie, you will not be needed. Dr. Simone, you will not be needed. Toya, you will not be needed. Sweet Tea, I'm even giving you a day off. Contessa, I'm even giving you a day off because guess what? I brought help.
Yes.
I brought castmates to basically build a scene. So this scene was basically Phaedra versus Apollo and his wife.
It was Phaedra's day to work overtime.
Guess what? She's going to work today. And then Sweet Tea comes with the, why did you invite Apollo? Now Dr. Heavenly's like, I know she's trying to fight me. Why does she want to do Heavenly versus Sweet Tea part 16
again and again and
like
again
she's
and
like
again.
Do you understand I'm trying to give us a day off? Keep going, Blair.
Heavenly tells her it's none of her business. Heavenly starts like really yelling at T, like pretty much like, girl, I was trying to take the day off.
Yes, please. Yeah, pretty much.
T says that Phaedra is her friend and it is her business.
Stop right there. Sweet Tea, how long do you know Phaedra? No. I gotta ask these questions. And when I say how long you know Phaedra or how long you knew Phaedra, I'm not talking about how long you saw her on TV. I'm talking about how long do you know Phaedra?
And I want to add one thing. I think the things that, at least for me personally, that I like about Sweet Tea are also the things that are a bit frustrating to watch.
Yes.
I like that she's green when it comes to the reality TV show. She's raw. We're getting like a fresh personality and fresh reactions to these situations. And she does not come across as produced in any type of way.
Yeah.
However, she does not recognize when there is a moment of production happening and she's inserting herself into things that as an audience we want to see play out.
Yes.
I wanted to see what else Phaedra was going to say beyond Bad Bill B.
Truth be told, I didn't even know. Like, I honestly didn't even know the whole Phaedra and Apollo story. Yeah. So I'm learning while I'm watching. Yeah. Right. I know about the Heavenly and Sweet Tea thing, and I'm tired of it. You get what I'm saying? And now, guess what? Phaedra don't have to talk no more. I think she about to walk off, actually. Yeah. And guess what? The wife is not talking no more because now she's looking like, oh, I'm interested in this beef more. Apollo don't got to answer for nothing because Sweet Tea is standing up saying Phaedra is my friend over the people who actually live in Atlanta, who probably in the same social circles as Phaedra, who probably got more years, maybe even double the years of knowing Phaedra. Dr. G himself known Phaedra for over 15 years. Yeah. So that's why I'm like, you over here talking about Phaedra's my friend. What? Oh, my goodness. Keep going, Blair.
So Heavenly and T get to cussing at each other. Heavenly's falling down in the water, and the guys have to run and break things up.
Now this is what Heavenly is trying to do. She's trying to save a scene.
Yeah.
Now, this is why I say, Sweet Tea, you're bad at reality TV, and guess what? I'm gonna give you a pass because this is your second season.
And the thing is, I would be bad at it too, honestly.
Well, I ain't gonna be this bad. Listen, if something don't involve you, it don't involve you, right? Facts. She tried to involve herself because she's trying to look at any opportunity to go at Dr. Heavenly to where it had nothing to do with Dr. Heavenly at all.
And
right?
It's getting old.
It's getting old, and at the end of the day, if they had to choose between you and Dr. Heavenly, they not gonna choose you. They go fire you and your husband. You get what I'm saying? So I don't even understand. She stepped on the scene, guys. And that's why I give her a total F+ for this episode. I understand she's still green. This is only her second season. But after this season, if you are brought back, there got to be no excuses. You need to start acting like you a castmate and that you are actually bringing stuff to the show besides being a fan who was brought on the show and acting like a fan and basically living out your dreams of going at Dr. Heavily, living out your dreams of being around these people, living out your dreams of basically being on reality TV. No one there's a scene, and even Dr. Simone said it in her confessional. She said, Sweet Tea is going off, and no, baby, no, we don't do that. Basically, we don't step on scenes that we created. Do you think Dr. Simone forgot that Dr. Jackie and her whole thing with Curtis was over in North Carolina? Or South Carolina in basically Key West, or
South Carolina,
in South Carolina,
Charleston, I think,
or like wherever it was.
Yeah.
Dude, like you think like they forgot that, and that basically where they had that whole thing last year, and they had to have a come to Jesus moment, that was just by chance. People are producing while they are in the show, and she stepped on the scene.
Yeah.
She stepped on the scene. So now it's chaos.
Yeah. So Greg is holding T back.
Yeah.
He's telling her that he doesn't need this drama again.
Mm-hmm.
King decides to come in to talk to Greg during the melee that's going on.
Yes.
So Greg goes over to talk to him, and King tells Greg, I'm going to let what happened last night slide. And Greg tells him, well, tell her to stop saying stuff to me. And King says, you don't speak to her. If she says something, you address me. King tells him, I know about the past. And Greg says, you know about her side of the past. King asks him, tell me something different. And Greg says, you'll find out. And King says, you don't want to find out. Greg says, I'm a doctor. I'm not about to fight you. I don't need failed threats. And he won't talk to her. He has no words for Quad.
Yeah.
The guys come over to break things up, and things just get more and more heated. Greg starts yelling a lot more. King starts taking his shirt off. Greg tells him he doesn't know who King thinks he's talking to. I know how your girl is. Woo. And King says, I'll F you up. Keep talking about her. And then we see King run up on him.
Listen, the Greg and backpedal, boy. I mean, fast as I don't know what. Do you have any thoughts? Give me your thoughts first, Blair.
I was like analyzing the scene in my mind over and over again. And we had so many conversations about it because I was like, how did it get to the point of blows?
Yeah.
And this is what I'm thinking now. It might change as I talk. But I do think that the way that King approached him was definitely an effort to check him. Okay. I think King went about it in the wrong moment, because why are you choosing a moment when people's, anxieties and all that stuff is already high, because he's trying to get his wife to calm down. Yeah. I don't think that was the best time. But he wanted to check Greg. At the end of it, Greg was pretty much saying, I really don't have no words for Quad. I'm not about to fight you. It is what it is. I think that when the guys came over, that emboldened Greg a little bit more, because then he started talking reckless at the mouth, talking about, I know your girl, and going off a little bit. And I think that King was already on go. Yeah. And Greg, by saying those things and getting a little bit hyped because other people were around, I think that caused him to activate. Okay. And I will say that I don't fault King for checking Greg, because Quad has been standing in this group alone by herself for a while with no protection from a man, because the other women have their husbands and all that type of stuff, and she's been having to deal with things solo. And I think that King wanted to kind of put his stake in the ground that Quad is not going up things alone by herself, and y'all need to respect the man that is in her life. Yeah. And I respect that.
I respect your opinion.
Thank you.
I can see the reason of why you think the way you think. But I'm going to give it from a guy perspective.
Let's hear it.
For one, I'm over here trying to calm down my wife, right? Telling her, we don't need this again. I'm trying to hold my wife back. He comes over. I'm going to give y'all the small details that already lets me, that men notice. He comes over and he basically shoos away my wife, basically saying, like, can we talk? Basically, like, go get somewhere, basically, right? So he pulls me away from my wife, basically tell her to go get Scram. And then the first words that come out of his mouth is say, I'm going to let that ish pass of what you did last night. That ish you did last night, I'm going to let it pass. First of all, as a man, give me everything that's owed to me. Everything that's owed to me, I earn. So if you don't pass nothing for me, as a man, if you feel like you want to check me and you felt like something is owed to me, give it to me. If you want to put hands on me, put hands on me. So off top, he already said that ish last night, I'm going to let you slide. I don't need no bail to get out of jail, right? I do the time. I give you 5 minutes. I give you 10 minutes, right? So off top, he's already got Dr. Gray charged up, because first of all, I will give Dr. Gray his respect. He was on Dr. Gray was 10 toes down. He did not move back. He basically was like, what are you talking about, basically? Whole time, he's basically saying that, you know, the way that you talk to Quad, you need to apologize. Dr. Gray, like, I'm not apologizing. I'm paraphrasing. And then it was one point to where he basically was like, the way do not talk to Quad or things like that. And Dr. G said, I don't want to talk to Quad and things like that. And that's when he basically like, check your girl so she don't talk to me. And then that's when King said she could say whatever she wants
and that wasn't
to
right.
you. And then that's when Dr. G was like, how you expect me to be quiet when she could say whatever she wants to me? In that moment, I feel like King was using his ego to try to prove a point to Quad that may be a good point or a bad point, but it's still a point of I got your back. All this time before this whole meetup at the beach, Quad been putting a battery in King's back, basically saying, how are you gonna act when me and my ex-husband in the room and all this stuff, basically prepping him, planting seeds and things of that nature, right? Whole time he's telling Dr. G that she can say whatever she wants to him, but he can't speak to her, right? First of all, who is you? You're the new boyfriend. I'm the ex-husband. If I wanted to talk to her, I can talk to her. But I feel like honestly, Dr. G don't want to talk to her.
Yeah.
I feel like Dr. G really don't want nothing to do with her because I think there's a lot of emotions with that marriage in the sense of jealousy, hurt, time wasted. Mind you, I brought this up to my wife. Dr. G was supposed to come on the show looking like fresh and basically being like, you see he got the nice beard and is all tapered and stuff like that. He got the gray. He lost the weight. Dr. G looks good. The only problem with him is he's short. Right? So he was supposed to come in and stun on Quad, but Quad came and stun on him. You get what I'm saying? He was supposed to be the one that come on the show and have the new wife and new married and things like that. Where is your man? And then you realize he got a deep voice and he got pecs and he got abs and he got a beard that's not gray like yours. You get what I'm saying? So in that moment, I think the men can tell that it was getting really like it was about to get active, and I have no problem. Dr. G said it out of his mouth. I don't have to guess it. He said, I'm not trying to fight. You get what I'm saying? Like, but in that moment, I think King was trying to fight. I think King was trying to basically, you give me any reason to fight, I'm going to take it. Yeah. I think as a man, there is a lot of bail that we give people. And when I say people, I'm talking about other men to where it's like, he can say this, but I'm not going to swing on him. I think in this conversation, King was looking for a reason to put hands on Dr. G. Basically, he was coming there and saying, you say the wrong thing, I'm going to get active.
Especially the timing of it, too. It's kind of like you're trying to get something started in the middle of a fight that's already going on.
And even King reason was kind of weird, even though like I get it in some way, but not in that moment. He said he wanted to pull Dr. G aside away from his guy friends to basically see if he gonna stand on his word of what he was saying in front of his guy friends. Yes, I agree with that, but you can do that in a different time, not in a time. You're never gonna dismiss my wife to talk to me. There's nothing you have to say that's more important than me holding my wife, calming her down. So I'm already, for one, as a husband, mad because I thought we had a conversation this morning, Sweet Tea, that you're not going to be active, but it's always, I hear your voice across the beach. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, Dr. Heavily told me we had the day off, but I hear your voice across the beach. So then I'm calming my wife down. You coming over telling my wife, can we talk? Can you take a walk? I need to talk to your husband. And then you come, and the first thing you say to me is, that issue you did last night, I'm going to let it slide. Don't let nothing slide with me. For Christopher, don't let nothing slide with me. Give me everything that's owed to me. That's all I got to say. And truth be told, as men, sometimes you got to square up. Yeah. Listen, I have no problem with Dr. G standing on his square. And truth be told, I have no problem with King chasing him on the beach. like truth be told, I have no problem with both approaches, but let's just call it what it is. I almost call him Dr. King, right? Martin Luther King, right? King wanted to prove his manhood to Quad, basically like, I'm your protector now, I'm your man now, and I'm going to beat up your ex-husband. And Dr. G was basically standing on his square like, listen, little boy, you ain't going to disrespect me. And truth be told, I know this may sound weird. The only weird thing about that whole altercation from my perspective, Blair, is that this is a new boyfriend trying to check an ex-husband. If this was a new husband checking an ex-husband, I think that's more acceptable. Or even a new fiance checking an ex-husband. King just got here. So it kind of seemed weird that you don't have no years in. You barely got months in. And you got, for one, you got your own friends questioning how you got a Rolls Royce from this guy, from this stranger guy, and you ain't giving no kids. There's no history to back why you're backing Quad this heavily, because
this is lady.
But I get it. But this is her ex-husband, so there is some truth to you only know her side of the story and you just met her. I would say if you wanted a resolve, he should have approached it very differently in the sense of like, I didn't like that, instead of coming with the testosterone. But as men, testosterone is needed.
Yeah.
Anything else?
And that's where we end.
Listen here, moral of the story, Sweet Tea, learn reality TV so you can be better at it. You get what I'm saying? Because truth be told, I ain't gonna hold you. Sweet Tea, I expect you to do what Sweet Tea did. If I'm backpedaling, if you see me backpedaling from somebody, which you'll never see me backpedal from anybody, but if you see me backpedaling, I need you to run from across the beach to help me.
Oh, I'm hauling behind.
because that's what Sweet Tea took off.
Yes.
She don't care what was popping out of her bikini. She took off. And that's what I'm talking about. Hit him. Please. Subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. Anything else?
That's it.
Y'all be good.
Bye.